Eddie, what could be next? If Khan's a bit further down the line, what could be in store for Kell in
Well,
June?
I think it was about Kell winning tonight. Amir's fighting on April 21st. The plan is always for those guys to fight again in the summer. That fight, I think, potentially happens in November, December. Kell could be out on early June at the earliest, but certainly before the end of the summer. I want to see him step up and have a nice step up again from Rabchenko, who people talk about, who don't know their boxing. Rabchenko's number 5 in the WBC. He's got 2 defeats in his career, both at a very, very high level. He's very tough. He's had 12 weeks' notice. He's trained very hard. You saw him in the ring tonight before the bell went. He was staring down Kell Brook, and I've got to tell you, my bum was going. So he was up for it, and he couldn't handle the power, and I don't believe anyone can. You speak to anyone who spars with Kell Brook when he's 11-6, 11-7. Everybody, super middleweight, talking about the strength and power of Kell Brook, and I just believe at welterweight you couldn't see it. And tonight you saw him take out a big light middleweight who was really up for it, and it showed that Rabchenko's world level, but he's not elite level. But what Kell done to him just shows him that he's 100% elite level. And really, the key, my job for Kell Brook is 1, to keep him motivated, which will in turn keep him happy, and 3, provide him the biggest fights possible. He didn't get the best out of what he could have at welterweight, but he also hasn't had the best out of his career that he should have done, bearing in mind his talent. So we've got to get it, because otherwise we'll regret it. And what tonight showed is there's so much more to come. If he would have come in tonight and his timing was off and he was taking shots, but it wasn't. It was like one of the best performances that I've seen from Kell Brook tonight.
What do you think Amir Khan would have made of that performance tonight?
Well, I think that I think Amir knows how good Kell Brook is. Kell Brook's answered the questions. He's had 2 defeats, 2 injuries, and he come back with a performance like that. Amir Khan got knocked out 2 years ago. He's had 2 years out the ring, and he returns on April 21st. So we've got to see how he looks. I'm hoping he looks great. I think Kell was hoping he looks great, because the fight becomes bigger and bigger. But I'm sure Amir was watching tonight. Kell will be in Liverpool for the Khan fight. And it remains, my job for both guys is to provide the biggest fights out there. And I feel like that fight is the biggest fight out there, both of them. And I just feel that one day, if we don't make that fight, we'll look back and think, everyone will. But the fight's not as big if they're not firing on all cylinders. So Kell's shown he's 100% firing on all cylinders. Amir's got a showdown on April 21st, and then we move on. But my ultimate mindset at the moment is getting up a date for Kell Brook, because I think this is one of the first times where he says, I'm straight back in the gym, that I actually believe it.
He also wants to be a 2-way world champion. What's the pathway like to achieve that?
Yeah, we want to be 2-weight world champion, but also we want to be in the big fights. And if they don't materialise in terms of world championship fights, then we have to look at other fights. But you've got Saddam Ali, the WBO champion. Looks like he could be fighting Liam Smith. You've got Charlo, WBC champion. He's a good fighter. You've got Lara, who's unifying against Hearn. So it's a very, very difficult division. But I've always believed Kell Brook can beat all those guys. And he beat Errol Spence at 154 pound, no question. The only reason he couldn't beat Errol Spence is because of what he had to do to make 147 pound. And now people make out that Errol Spence is the second coming of Sugar Ray Leonard. He's not. Kell's better fighter than Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a very good fighter, but at welterweight he can't do it. He feels as though he can make welterweight, but honestly, I truly believe this is the way. And the problems might come in the Khan fight where he wants it at 147. Khan's next fight's at 150, so we'll have to see how it ends up. But that's a decision for Kell and Dom. My decision to put the deals in front of them. But I just feel that 154 is going to be very difficult to beat.